Well, hello everyone. This is Boomer Life Lessons and Stories. We're going to share some more, I suppose, stories and lessons with you this time. Um, we're going to be talking about something that is important to all of us. And you know these people too. Leave it in the past. That's kind of the theme of this particular video. You know the people that cannot leave the past. They live in the past for whatever reason, and it's always something for them to talk about. And I'm not talking about the good things and the good memories. It's always something that they haven't left in the past. So stay tuned. We'll get into this here shortly. But before we do that, please remember to like, subscribe, and share if I've said something that is useful to you or of interest to you. What we try to do is not only be entertaining, but through our life lessons and experiences and the things that we have been exposed to, share something of value with you that, again, you may find useful. Okay, what does it mean, leave it in the past? Well, I suppose the best way to explain this would be to start with a story. This story was told to me, not directly to me, but in a group at a church. This was when I was growing up as a preteen, kind of early teen individual. And our pastor, Dr. Bobby G. Batson, was talking about, sometimes we face hardship and things happen. And sometimes bad things happen to us. And sometimes bad things happen to us because of other people. And sometimes we interpret it to be bad things or ill intent by other people. And it's not really, right? But in any case, we experience these challenges and difficulties in our life. And for some reason, we've latched on to them and we can't let them go. And because we cannot let them go, they impact how we presently deal with those around us and how we deal with them in the future. And it could be not a good thing to let that happen. So Dr. Batson actually said to us that he knew of a man. Now, I don't know if this is a real story or if it was one of those stories created to get the point across, right? But either way, it kind of works for me because I remembered it all these years, and it must be now going on 50 years because I am approaching 64, which is hard for me to think about, right? But he said that one day this gentleman had some business at the state capitol. And if anybody knows about state capitals, most of them like to be built on high little hills or plateaus. And there's lots of steps leading down or leading up to them, I should say. And so if you have any business, you better be in shape at this particular capitol because you got a long flight of steps to walk up. And these are external to the Capitol building. We're not talking about the steps inside the building. So whatever business you have at the Capitol, it must be pretty serious to go through all those steps leading up to it. And we're talking about probably a few hundred steps. Well, that's what this gentleman encountered as he was going up the steps. He realized that it was quite a workout for him. But he did make it up the steps and to the top where the Capitol was. And he went in and spent the time talking to whomever it was that he had to talk to. So upon exiting the Capitol, he came to these steps and he began to work his way down those steps. And as it would happen, he stumbled and he fell and he tumbled and he rolled and he tumbled and he bruised himself and he hit his head, he hit his arms, and it was a long trip down those stairs. You can imagine because he was so high up when he stumbled. But when he hit that last step and he hit the bottom, people were just running up to him and like, can we help you? Can we help you? Because they saw what he had experienced, and they just knew that it was all tragic and it was just horrendous, and he was going to be severely injured. So he got up, he dusted himself off, and he looked at the people straight in the eye and he said, "Thank God that's over with," and he walked off. Now, I don't mean to laugh at somebody's troubles, especially when they fall in an accident like that, but just his attitude, "Thank God that's over with," and he went on down the road about his business. Now, isn't that what we should all do? When we experience something that's really difficult or challenging or worrisome, and we actually get through the end of that time period, the end of that event, and we look around and survey what's around us, and we realize, I did survive it. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be or while it was happening. I did survive it, but I learned from it. What did I learn? Be careful when I start down this path because it's filled with danger, right? Any misstep could cause whatever I want to happen not to happen, right? So I suppose the intent of this short video is be careful when you start down a certain path. If something happens that you don't intend for it to happen, like you stumble, get through it, do the best you can, and when you reach that bottom platform, when it's all over with, you can look around and see people are around you and you know things are okay. Say to yourself, thank God that's over with, and learn from it and know next time what not to do. Now, I know a few people that tend to live in the past and not so healthy of a way. In other words, all the things they dwell on in the past are those things that have in their mind that where they have been wronged by other people, and that they were the victim. And, you know, I do know that people do become victims in some way or some point in their life. And my heart goes out to them, whether it's being a victim of a robbery or an insult or what have you, or people look down on you. And none of that is acceptable, by the way. None of it is. But sometimes people fabricate injuries as they go through their life and they latch on to them and they dwell on them. And for some reason, this amplifies the incident and the retelling gets bigger and more injurious as they go forward. Now, I had a friend one time tell me, and he's a dear friend, very smart man. He said, it's your story and you can tell it any way you want it, right? And that's true. I mean, you listen to some of the fishermen in our family. You know, they caught a little fish about this big, but with each telling, it grows, right? You've seen that. But always try to be factual. And context is everything. You can deal with the facts, but provide the wrong context and draw the wrong conclusions. So when we look at events in our life and we feel like we might have been injured in some way, look at the context. Don't assume that your interpretation is the right and proper interpretation. Look at the context, what was going on around. Try to understand the facts inside the context. I had another acquaintance who said, you know, I knew of another man who was in the business circle, and I just knew he hated me. I knew he didn't like me. And for whatever reason, I just, you know, knew that when I first met him, it was going to be a bad thing, meaning the first time they come face to face, because they knew of each other, but they had not developed an interpersonal relationship of any type. And so he just knew it was going to be a bad thing when he got face to face with this individual. So they happened to have a meeting where they were all in attendance. And as it turned out, this other gentleman saw the first one and he said, He come running up to me and says, I've been wanting to meet you for a very long time. I know that we've circulated in the same social circles and we've done some business, our companies have, but I've never had a chance to talk to you. And I just want you to know, I really appreciate what you do. The first gentleman was kind of taken aback because all the things that he had witnessed and interpreted based on the context, he felt that there was some negativity being built up. And he didn't think that the guy liked him, and he was wrong. Context, the right context for the facts will tell the story, not something taken out of context. So when you encounter these little episodes in your life or big episodes in your life, and you find that it's tough getting through them, perhaps it is true, it is tough, and it is hurtful. But once you get through with it, brush yourself off, say, thank God it's over with. And after some time has transpired, look back on the facts of what was going on. Think about the context and even talk to some of the people that were engaged or involved and clear the air. Because I got to tell you, I love to live for the day and not so much in the past, because I can change the future. I cannot change the past. The past is fixed. So everything that I do looking forward and going forward is about creating a better future. And so can you. Take care. I hope I've said something that is meaningful to you. Even if you agree or don't agree, please put the comments down below, and let's have a dialogue. Again, take care and all the best, and I will see you in the next video.